Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concord University Athletics Senior Spotlight for the fall 2020 semester. This is the 18th edition of the Spotlight for this semester. My name is Wes McKinney, and joining us today is football wide receiver Tywan Pearce. Tywan, so great you could spend some time with us today.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man, looking forward to getting to know you, letting other people get to know you here over the next little bit. So, as we traditionally do, let's start with your recruitment to Concord out of Kissimmee, Florida. Just kind of take us through that journey, if you could. I guess starting back about the winter of 17, spring of 2017.
So the winter of 17 is when I actually got my offer from Concord. It was, towards the end. I was in a senior bowl, and I actually got a call. My offensive coordinator actually went to Concord back in his days, and I got a call, and they offered me. And I went on a visit in January. I didn't have any other offers at the time. I had a lot of interests, but I didn't have any other offers. So after I took my visit, I just committed because, I liked the culture there. It was very quiet, mellowed, and they was paying for my schooling for free, and I get to continue to play college football.
Yeah, who was the who was the offensive coordinator there at your high school?
His name was Ron Steiner. He didn't graduate there, but he went there. His wife graduated there, and he
Okay,
tells me stories all the time. He went there years ago.
sure. And Taiwan, I also wanted to ask you. It's obviously Kissimmee, Florida, and Athens, West Virginia aren't exactly the same. So what was I guess maybe like the culture shock like for you when you got to Athens in August of 2017?
Man, it was huge. I mean, I kind of figured it was going to be different when I went on my visit, but being there for 2 days compared to being there for a whole semester, it was brutal for me because in Florida in general, nice weather all times, and sunshine, and here and there you have weather that's bad, but compared to the snow, I did not like it at all. I didn't want to leave my dorm. I didn't want to practice. I didn't want to do anything like that. And then population wise, I'm in a city with 100,000 people and residents, and I'm very close to Orlando, where it's three times that. So
Mm-hmm.
going into a smaller town where you don't really have that much to do was very different. But at the same time, I was just mainly focused on football and schooling. I didn't want to get stuck into the whole big college life where we go party all the time and things like that. I really just wanted to focus on my football and my schooling, and that's exactly what I did.
From a from maybe not a lifestyle standpoint, but from a football standpoint, what was the biggest difference you noticed right away from high school to college?
The tempo. That's something everybody gonna say is the tempo of the game. It was way faster. You're the best player at your high school, and when you get to college, you with everybody who was the best player at their high school. So that was another thing. Competition wise, everybody's just as good as you. So what's gonna separate you from them? And it was just hard work. And then the tempo was something that was big. That was a big difference in high school ball and college ball.
You come in right away, though. You make an impact both offensively and on special teams. You catch uh, 23 passes, I believe it was. I didn't put that in my notes, but I believe it was 23 passes that year for about 200 yards receiving. But your biggest impact comes in the Concord return game, most notably kickoffs. You average about 22 and a half yards per kickoff return, which amounted to 24 kickoff returns that year for Concord. At the end of the season, you get named to the All Mountain East Conference first team as a return specialist. So what did that personally mean to you, Taiwan, to come in and make that big of a difference right away?
I mean, all freshmen who do come in, they prove themselves on the special teams end, and I was always big in returning back in high school, so I knew that if I wanted to make a name for myself, I have to do something in the kick return game. And I remember my first kick return was against Notre Dame, fourth game of the season, my freshman year, and I took it 50 yards, and ever since then, I never looked back. Coach gave me the green light, and I just ran with it.
So you obviously make the impact as a return specialist your freshman year, but then you really put things in motion as a sophomore as a receiver. That year you finished with 51 catches, 710 yards, 7 touchdowns. All those were either the team best or tied for the team best in terms of receiving categories. So what did you work on between your freshman and sophomore year to make more of an impact in the offense as a receiver?
I'm understanding how to read defensive coverages. And back in high school, everybody just if you good and you better than everybody else, you tend to be the best player. But in college, you gotta do something to really separate yourself. And I really focus in on learning defensive schemes and how defense coverages work, and getting in tune with the receiver at the time, Brandon Pilot. Me and him was great, are great friends. We used to text each other over the summer when we wasn't in school or doing football, and watch film together, and then just getting in tune with each other. And the quarterback at the time, he was a great quarterback who knew how to read defenses, and just found me multiple times, and it felt great. It felt like I was actually learning more. Being that I played football for almost 15 years, I think I know everything, but you really don't. And that's one lesson I learned, that you got to be willing to continue to learn and grow.
I'm glad you talked about Brandon Plyler, Tywan. You mentioned the communication during the off season and off the field, but how are you guys able to complement each other? Because you guys are kind of two different style of receivers. So how's you guys able to complement each other?
Well, whenever we was on the same side, if I was in the slot and he was wide, you can't cover both of us. You got to pick and choose. So if they was to double team me, somebody has to be open, and he would be. If they would double team him, I would be open, and it just worked. It was complete. It felt great. It looked good on film too, and you can't double team both of us. So
talk to me about your junior year. About halfway through the season, 1st of October, you pick up back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. Those come against Hillsdale and West Liberty. What was working for you and Kyle Aiken, the quarterback, and just the offense as a whole during those two games for you to amass those back-to-back 100-yard games?
Before the first game, Hillsdale, I actually was out. I hurt my shoulder, and I never missed the game really. So I was very eager to get back on the field, and at that point, I didn't think my numbers was great at the time. So I was very eager to get back on the field and very hungry to prove something and try to help the team get a win. So I felt that was the reason why my numbers look the way they look. And me and Kyle just talked and said, okay, we're going against this defensive scheme, and this place should be open. And we repped it, and it was there.
Last year, right after those two 100-yard games, you break the program record here at Concord for kickoff return yards in a career. You're now at 1,560 for your career, and you said earlier, Tywan, that your first return was against Notre Dame for 50 yards. You never looked back after that. And was that something you kind of always had your eye on to become the all-time leader in kickoff return yards?
Nah, it was just I don't. It was never a something on my list that I wanted to accomplish. I just always wanted to be a great player, a great teammate. And when I remember the week that we played, the week that I broke the record, the special teams coach, came to me and told me, I'm 81 yards away. And I just remember, like, that really wouldn't matter if we didn't win the game. But I just, went out there, did what I usually did, and, broke the record. And it feels good, but, a win would have felt even better.
Sure. Through 3 years of your career here at Concord, you're fifth in program history and career catches 139. That's 10 behind your buddy Brandon Plyler, and of course 11 from 150, and you'd be the fourth player to do that. After your All-MEC first team selection as a return specialist in 2017, you follow that up with a couple of honorable mention selections as a wide receiver in 2018 and 2019. So Tywan, I got to ask you here your last question before we let you go. Kind of what's your next goal? What's the next evolution you have to make as a player at Concord?
Well, the next goal is, of course, have a winning season. Um, I'm being that I'm a senior, I have to be more vocal, and that's something that I worked on a lot during the couple of practice we had this fall. So yeah, being more of a leader and wanting to, being that we're a younger team and there's a lot of freshmen and showing them the way, showing them the right and wrong, how this game actually works. You know, I don't really have any personal goals. I just want to have a winning season, put Concord back on the map and change the culture around.
Yeah, man, we're certainly looking forward to you guys getting back out on the field and trying to get things set back in motion for the program here at Concord. But we do thank you for your time today, Tywan, and once again, we look forward to you guys being able to play games here soon.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, once again, Tywan Pearce, 18th episode for the fall 2020 semester of the Concord University Athletics Senior Spotlight.